Welcome guys, my name is Tom Antos, and in this video I'm going to show you how I recreated this classic scene from The Matrix. And also I'm going to show you guys kind of how the fun way of doing it, and also if in case let's say you guys wanted to recreate this scene or any other sort of a famous movie scene or maybe some music video, and you wanted to kind of get the same kind of look, what are some of the, I would say, most important things to pay attention to? One, I think the biggest mistake that people usually do when they're trying to recreate anything is that they kind of look at one thing and they think, okay, as long as I have that one element in my shot, then that's all. And for example, like The Matrix, I would say, well, there's probably two things that The Matrix is really famous for. First one being probably the whole bullet time effect, which is, when Neo, for example, is leaning back here and the bullets are flying around him. But another, I think, iconic thing about the film The Matrix is also the color grade, so the kind of colors that they had in the final film. I think it was so iconic, in fact, that after the movie came out, I know there was a lot of other films, music videos, or even TV commercials that I've seen that tried to replicate that kind of look. In fact, I think this kind of a green tinted sort of a color grade, especially in the shadows, is so iconic, I think, and so reminiscent of The Matrix that you can pretty much take any footage, and if you apply that same kind of color grade, then you'll right away notice that it looks, at least in some way, it resembles The Matrix. But like I said, if you're really trying to, let's say, recreate The Matrix, then you kind of want to pay attention to not just one element, like for example in this case the color grade, but also every little detail kind of that makes up the shot. So if you, for example, look at this shot here from The Matrix, what is it that makes it look like The Matrix and gives it a kind of a cool look? The key things I would say that you want to pay attention to are things like locations. It doesn't mean you have to have the exact same location, but things, for example, like what is the kind of the field, the size of the location? Is it a big open space or kind of a small cramped space? Also, what are the kind of colors you have there at that location? Is there, let's say, maybe graffiti on the walls, or is it all very clean, kind of a sharp lines? Things like that. Next thing is probably the costumes. So definitely pay attention to that. Also, just the overall kind of a camera work and cinematography kind of work. So, are long lenses being used, or is it all, for example, very wide angle shots? Also, is the depth of field very narrow, very deep? Things like that, right? And let's say if the camera, if the camera is very static, or let's say maybe it's moving around, or maybe it's all handheld kind of work. So those are all the little things that kind of make up and create the overall feel of this shot. And I would even say the final thing is even the actors. Look at the way the actors look. Now, in my case, unfortunately, Keanu Reeves was too busy when I called him, so I had to call my second best actor, which was my brother Lucas. And we always work together. He kind of does usually a lot of things behind the scenes. But if you guys also watched a lot of things already on my YouTube channel or some of the films I've done, you'll probably recognize my brother's face, and that's because he's so far, I think, played just about every character. He's played definitely a lot of the bad guys in my films where he always gets shot. And he's also played some of the hero characters, like in this one here. I think just about every character I think he's played, except maybe one. I don't think he's ever done a romantic lead yet, but I'm definitely going to try to change that in the future. I just have to come up with a perfect part for him. But anyways, in this case, he's going to be Neo from The Matrix. Now he's, like I said, maybe he looks a little bit different, so we're not gonna take it too serious with this. We're gonna just have fun with it, and kind of what I'm gonna call this scene is The Matrix, but not Reloaded. In this case, it's gonna be The Matrix Retired, 20 years later edition, and you'll see why in a minute. So, like I said, we got access to this kind of a cool location that I think is reminiscent again of The Matrix. We also made sure we went there where the weather was right. We were kind of looking for this just straight out sunny day. We have the costume. Again, we didn't have the exact same costume that Neo was wearing, but it doesn't matter as long as you have something that's, again, kind of looks like the part. In our case, we knew he was just wearing a whole lot of black, and then he had that very iconic, black trench coat. And then the next thing, like I said, I wanted to pay attention to is just kind of what kind of camera work the scene has. So it definitely has these kind of big sweeping camera moves, which I'm going to achieve by putting the camera on a camera gimbal. So in this case, I'm using the Panasonic GH4. I'm shooting at 96 frames per second so I can get a nice slow motion. And then I put the camera on the CameTV single gimbal. And this allows me to quickly move around, get various angles here of my brother. And then I'm shooting everything in slow motion. So what that allows me to do is to, if I ever wanted to, I can really slow down, and really get kind of almost like that look like that you saw in the Matrix, where kind of seems like time froze. But in case I do want to speed up the action in some parts, I can just increase the playback rate. And anyways, in this scene, after I got all my angles, I kind of edited this sort of a sequence you can see here. And then the final thing to do is just to, again, apply that same color grade that we saw in the Matrix. I could just sit here in Premiere and kind of tweak it and do it manually. But I actually have a LUT or a lookup table that kind of recreates that Matrix look. So I'm just going to apply it to my footage. And here it is right away. You can see, looks, I think, pretty good. And then really the final thing is just put some sound effects. And anyways, here is the premiere of the new Matrix Retired 20 years later edition. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed my brother's acting here as Neo in the Matrix. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, also click thumbs up, and go to my website at tomantosfilms.com and subscribe to the newsletter there if you want to be notified of the next tutorial I'm going to be releasing, which is a tutorial where I'm going to show you how I recreated another classic film scene from the film The Road to Perdition. And also how I did it literally in my living room. So that's going to be the next video that will sometime next week. And then after that, I'm going to have another video about how I recreated this scene from Sin City. Again, starting my brother. And then after that, I've got a whole bunch of other tutorials like that that will kind of touch on different things, whether it's the lighting, special effects, things like that. So definitely subscribe to the newsletter on my website, because unfortunately, if you just subscribe to my YouTube channel, turns out that YouTube doesn't notify all of my subscribers. So if you don't want to miss these coming up videos, then like I said, go to my website and subscribe to the newsletter. And anyways, hope you guys enjoy this. I'll see you next week. And that's it for now. Bye.